Well, it's time for another history segment, and our good friend is back in our studios, Charles McElwee. He is the Vice President of the Board of Directors for the Greater Hazleton Historical Society and Museum. We missed you. We're glad you're back.
Thanks for having me back.
No problem. And you told me that Hazleton was actually featured in an article, or someone from Hazleton was featured in an article in one of Ireland's largest newspapers. So tell us about this.
Yes, just recently, the Irish Times in their weekend edition. So think of this as like the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times of Ireland. They featured this story about Hazleton, and specifically about a landmark grave in St. Gabriel Cemetery. It was a grave of Condy Brislin, who was a miner from southwest Donegal in Ulster, the northwestern part of Ireland. He was born in 1815, and he immigrated to the United States and ended up in Hazleton. And he had what was known as miner's asthma, black lung, and he died in 1880. And his sons, they were twins, one of whom came from Colorado when he died. They built this grave, and they chiseled onto the grave a beautiful, moving poem that has been famously chronicled in history books, documentaries, and the poem reads, "40 years I worked with pick and drill, down in the mines against my will. The coal king slave, but now it's past. Thanks be to God, I am free at last." And it's a poignant, moving inscription that really captures the culture of the mining industry during that period. It was oppressive, the conditions were harsh, the pay was little, and Brislin, through his grave, embodied that time. And it was in the Irish Times that they chronicled the story, and along with Hazleton's strong ties to that part of Ireland, County Donegal.
Was there any significance for printing that article now, any anniversary of his death or anything like that?
They often run feature stories about America's ties to Ireland, and they just happen to focus one of their articles about Hazleton. And Hazleton, as we know, is always a timely topic, whether it's the election or we also have a very high-profile U.S. Senate race coming up. So Hazleton will continue to be in the news internationally. And I guess the Irish Times was interested in Hazleton's ties to the northwest pocket of Ireland. The one part that they mentioned in the article was that the grave was fully restored, and it's not restored. It's actually falling into disrepair. And we need to make that clear to everybody that it's not in good shape. And the reason for its condition is just natural. I mean, a lot of these graves fall into disrepair because of Hazleton's harsh weather conditions. And we are raising money to restore that grave. And we're working with the local chapter of the Ancient Order of Hibernians to raise funds. And if you are interested in partaking in this effort and contributing, contributions can be made to the Greater Hazleton Historical Society. But we hope to ultimately restore this landmark, one which has attracted professors, historians coming in from Ireland, people from throughout the United States are aware of this grave, and it certainly deserves restoration work to keep that story going.
All right, and to make a contribution to the Historical Society, they go to?
HazletonHistory.org.
All right, you can do it right online. So that's very good. So hopefully we can help out the Historical Society and preserve something that obviously got the attention of Ireland.
Absolutely.
Charles McElwee, he'll be back with us soon, so stay tuned.